Hello there people, Sam15 here again. Although I didn't plan on doing another video, I'm making one right here. I promise this one is going to be really short compared to the first one. I have to apologize though, as it is going to be more about talking about expected half track problems with not too much new content or animations. But something new will be here at least for sure, so no worries. Some time ago, I discussed half tracks in HLL's Discord about their usage and possible abuse. It made me think about it very much, so this video is going to be about possible expansion of the resource system in connection to the upcoming half tracks, which are, by the HLL's devs, planned to act as mobile garrisons. If you didn't see my first video about the resource system, I recommend you to watch it because here in this video I am building upon the system I presented there. I am providing the link for it in the description down below this video so you can watch it. However, if you already watched it or simply want to see what I have to say about halftracks only, feel free to use the time links down below, also in the description of this video. First off, let's face some problems we can expect if the halftracks would be implemented into the currently existing, pretty broken meta. As I understand it, the developers stated that they are trying to make the half-tracks to become assault vehicles for making breakthroughs in the red sectors, which however contradicts with their current spawn point nature right here at the beginning. Why? Because all the types of spawn points, no matter if garrisons, OPs or airheads, we always want to keep them safe, and if possible, out of sight of the enemies. This will apply the same for the half-tracks. And since its engine will be loud enough to hear it from a medium distance, this will cause that the halftracks will likely never be used in a head-on assault. Rather, they will be hidden in the very remote places like airheads are currently, and left alone with their engines off so nobody will ever find them. Where are those places? Of course, on the super wide flanks far away. The devs are defending themselves that its engine will allow the defenders to easily see, or hear, the half-track coming. But what's the difference between that and what we already have today? Often, for a red zone garrison, a supply track is used with its supply crates today. As a vehicle, the supply track also has an engine, which we can hear at a pretty large distance. Despite that, such a garrison safely and successfully establishes itself most of the time because it is out of everybody's sights, far away, too far for the defenders to even search for it. It will be the same with the half-tracks, again, if they would be implemented into the current broken system. The only difference would be that one wouldn't even need any supply boxes to build it. Won't it get even worse under that circumstance? I see it would be even easier to build such a red zone garrison that way, comparing to what we have today. Also, what can we expect to happen if with current meta, a player would decide to take the half track to use it for a direct attack purpose? Well, it is quite easy to imagine that if somebody would want to take such a well-positioned stationary hidden half track, a garrison, from the white flank, the whole friendly team would jump on that guy because he would endanger the safe remote white flank spawn point. I can already see nightmares about admin calls about this. Just remember how much complaining there can be today if somebody unwanted takes even a supply track at the match start. And this kind of a problem is something that needs to be taken care of in advance, even before the half tracks get introduced. There are multiple ways, as always. Some people say that instead of using half tracks as mobile spawn points, it should be just the normal tracks used for this purpose instead, because currently they have no other use after getting into the middle point, as they are left there until they explode by the enemy or by themselves by the idle timer. However, I think there could be a way to make the half tracks usable in the assault way, so finally, how could we use the half tracks in the system I presented? A possibility would be that they could be used not just as a mobile garrisons, but at the same time also as mobile containers of the ammunition and manpower local resources, in a similar way like the local resources would be stored inside of the nodes. Unlike the nodes, however, the half tracks would not generate any resource income under any circumstances. They would only store the resources, not produce them. Let's say that the half tracks could store 150 of ammunition and 150 of manpower, no matter where it would be located. Its local resources would be spent by spawning and rearming, either by spawning right on that half track or at nearby OPs in the half track's range under the same prices I laid out in the first video. Garrisons in its range would not be supported, since the half track itself will be a garrison. Other, normal garrisons would still need to be in range of solid nodes. Support range of a half track would have to be not too large, otherwise the half track could be left behind too far again in order to be out of reach of the enemy. Let's say that it would have a support range for the OPs within 100 meters. If the mentioned resources of a half track would get drained empty, it would have to be driven back to refill its resource storage either to the HQ, where it would be for free, or to the nodes, and to use their local resources to resupply the resource storage of the half track. If the half track leaves the area where the OPs were, all the OPs which were in the range of the half track would trigger the auto-destruct of 2 minutes because the attack has failed. Auto-destruct, of course, only if the OPs wouldn't be located in range of the non-empty nodes or other non-empty half track by any chance at the same time. The timer would be there to give the affected squads some time to fall back to the supplied area. However, the timer would also help in the other case, if the half track advances, for squads to be able to keep up the pace with it and build new OPs within its range again if the advance of the half track would cause an OP to find itself out of its range. The bottom line is that this way the half tracks would be worthless if just positioned someplace far and for too long, because the OPs would need it to be able in its range of 100 meters to be able to spawn and resupply close to the attacked target area. Players would be forced to want them in the combat zone and not on a wide flank to leave them there as static garrisons. Status of a resource container would ensure that the OPs built by officers spawned on the half tracks would not be able to leave it and go for a wide flank by themselves far away from it. And if the half track would be used to flank and attack from behind by any chance, the attack alone would diminish by itself if the half track's resources would get drained before succeeding in taking the objective of those flanking squads, especially if the manpower would run out. No matter if used with this system or without it, a half track will be likely very easy to destroy even by one rocket from any direction, and therefore a limitation of a class like AT must be either team-wide or available only in some kind of special weapons squad type, which would have to be introduced the same way like an already existing recon squad, for example. However, as that is likely not happening, at least not anytime soon, maybe to give the attackers a chance, a wreckage of a destroyed half track could still store the resources which could still support the OPs in its range. However, such a destroyed half track would lose half of its current resource amounts. So, for example, if in the half tracks at the moment of destruction there were, for example, 100 of manpower and 80 of ammunition, after the moment of destruction it would get reduced to 50 of manpower and 40 of ammunition. Only if the manpower from it would reach zero, the OPs would trigger the automatic self-destruct timers. This would be to balance the ease of being able to destroy the half track but with a reward for keeping it intact as well to avoid cheap, repercussionless banzai charges. And we have come to the conclusion. With the health tracks, I probably just scratched the surface of possibilities which could be done with them. In this video, I didn't go into any deep details too much, but it's a valid way and proof that health tracks could be used in a much better way than a simple mobile red zone garrisons, which with current meta would be used in a completely different way, and that is as a hidden stashes as we know it. So thanks for watching, I hope you liked this at least a bit, and I'll see you sometime later, maybe. Bye!